Of course, when we talk about success, there's always something else that seems to come into the frame, and you started to allude to it. And that is, of course, the fear of failure. Why is failure actually so important as part of all of this?
There's been lots of arguments and suggestions that there's no such thing as failure. I am wary of that philosophy because I think you run the risk of some key valuable learnings if you don't recognise failure. I think within failure there is the understanding of how not to do something, the understanding of where it's gone wrong. I also think failure serves as a really useful tool to bring you onto the right frequency. So there's been times in the past when I thought a certain business venture was going to be a walk in the park, and I was probably a little nonchalant and a little blasé about entering into the business venture, and it was failure that gave me a bit of a slap on the face just to wake me up a bit and to remind me not to take things so casually. So it just has so many valuable lessons. It puts you on the right frequency, like I said. It brings you in tune with the current day consensus of a certain industry. So you put a product out there that you know is fantastic and you're really excited by it, but it doesn't take off. It's not because the product doesn't work, it's because you just don't align with your audience. So you try again a different way. You take the learnings, you look into how did we market this product? It didn't work. Was it the product or was it the marketing? Okay, it was the marketing. Did we align with the customers? Who are our customers? What's the profile of them? These are all the questions that failure brings up. Now, had you put that product out there and it fluked and it took off, you would not have had the richness of those learnings, because success doesn't permit that. I'm not saying you should go your whole life having failings, but the fact is that we do have to try things repeatedly, and that should be embraced and somehow enjoyed. Hard to say enjoyed, but it should be enjoyed, because that is where you get better.
Before we move off this, just to bring it sort of all together, you mentioned social media, and I'm sure a lot of people who want to be successful and can use social media in all its wonderful and creative ways, because there are many ways you can do that these days, but yet they may be fearful of failure and it be that much more public. Have you got any tips or advice as to how somebody can approach wanting success in their life, but have that kind of little niggle as to that fear of those awful tweets or those awful Facebook posts or Instagrams or whatever? How have you managed that?
Well, two things. One, there's a phrase I refer back to that what other people think of you is none of your business. That's helpful. I've had to go there a lot. I think when you are out there and you're leading a product or you're leading a company, yes, you are going to get looked at, and unfortunately there are people out there who will want to try to diminish or negate or somehow cause discontent for whatever reason. It's not my business to know why they want to do that. But I think that if you can operate from a higher spiritual level, so if you can transcend those concerns, how would you do that? Well, you would probably ask yourself, why are you so concerned? Why is it so important what this person says about you or not? And does not say more about them, the fact they're prepared to put something negative out there about you or your company, what you're attempting to do. For me, on a slightly more belligerent level, I would, if I was answering that question to someone right now who was genuinely in a position where they were scared to death of putting themselves out there because of what someone might say or what someone might post, I would say this to them. I would say, is this person paying your bills to pass comment on what you're doing? And if the answer is no, then what do you care? If this person is commenting and paying your bills for the privilege of it, then care what they think. But I think too many people have got too much to say for free, and I think too many people buy into that. So I think if this person is, let's say irrelevant, but if this person is not contributing financially, doesn't have an involvement in your business, and doesn't know you as a person, then it doesn't really matter. And it's a case of coming to terms with that. I think the only people that you should really take reference from are people who really matter to you, who are in an informed position. And that's not family and friends, by the way. Family and friends are not in an informed position to advise you on what you should do with your career, because unless they do it themselves, of course, and they've done it and you can model yourselves on them, that's fine. But well-meaning advice is often delivered through fear, insecurity, and cynicism, sadly.